It's a profession that has not fallen victim to technology. You know, a machine taking the place of dozens of workers. Court stenographers is who we're talking about. They are still in huge demand, and tonight, proof positive. Scores of college students studying to become stenographers, competing in a nationwide kind of fastest fingers contest. And this is hard, really hard. Here's Safan Kim.
All right, I'm going to dictate this at 225. Just get the fingers going.
With the rise of technology these days, you might call this...
Why did Walt want to have so much land?
A dying art. But don't call it that.
A well-kept secret of a profession that most people don't know about.
The profession, stenography. And what you're looking at is a battle for the fastest fingers. More than 100 students in Queens competing in a nationwide contest while studying at Plaza College to become broadcast captioners and court reporters.
No, it's not easy at all.
Members of the jury.
There is a lot the brain has to compute in a short amount of time.
It's a lot of muscle memory.
TKHROMT. So when the attorney says, did there come a time, it comes up in one stroke. It's a whole different language. There's 23 keys on the machine. And each letter means something else. Could mean a group of words, could mean a phrase. It's memorized. So you're learning a skill, you're learning speed, and another language.
In order to graduate, hear 5 minutes of dictation and transcribe 225 words a minute with a minimum 96% accuracy.
The law would therefore hold...
The best wins the national contest.
It's a trippy experience doing this, for sure. I think when I got involved, I didn't know how intense it was going to be.
And not only is this not a dying art, you could say the profession is going through a renaissance. About a decade ago, stenographers were being pushed out, and there was a lack of new blood coming in.
When they put the tape recorders into the courtrooms, there was a lot of inaudibles. So trials had to end up they were thrown out and they had to retry cases.
Now there's a shortage of talent, and demand is higher than ever.
We've always been known as the guardians of the record. Everybody thinks, you know, Alexa and Siri could take over, but they can never take over from the human.
In Forest Hills, Safan Kim, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Good evening, everyone. So nice to see you all here. Thanks for coming. I am just checking here that you can hear me. So can you send me a little message that you hear me okay, that the microphone's okay? All right. Okay, great. Thank you guys very much. So today I had planned to talk to you about posture for court reporters and of course student court reporters, students, and also my Zen test zone that I'm starting up. So we are going to start that right now. But before we do, tell me how everybody's been doing. Has anybody got any really cool successes to share with us? All right, Christina, yay, passed 160 Q&A. And Denitha passed her 80s, yes. 120 lit, all right, that is exciting. Or 140 lit. Okay, good. Yes, congratulations to all you guys. All right, so let us start this. So, okay, so I'm just going to get my presentation going here. Let me get set up here. Okay. All right, so I'm just closing down some things from previous meeting. All right, here's somebody coming in. Okay, so start this again. And share. All right, I got it now, finally. Okay, so good things. Any new goals anyone has? Any new goals? Okay, pass 140 by June. All right, working to graduate theory, writing 100. Great, those are all good goals. Perfect. Anything that you've experienced in this group or from anything that I've done that you feel has helped you accomplish these things? And I ask because I want to make sure that what I'm doing is helping, and if there's anything else I can do to help further, to make it better. So if you wouldn't mind just posting anything in there that you feel helped you, that you got from just being a part of this group, or any of the other stuff that I do. Okay, the Eclipse training helped, good. Okay. All right, so thank you for posting all that stuff. Great, a study schedule. Okay. All right, well, as always, if you think of anything that you would like me to do or that I haven't addressed and you feel would be helpful to you and others, please write me somehow. You can do a message, you can send me an email and let me know what would you like. And the live dictation, yes, I'm gonna do some more of that this next week. I just haven't posted it yet. So, all right, good. Okay, well, thanks for checking in, and we will get started. All right, so posture. Now, when I was in school, this is how they had us sit. Definitely not the paper just flown out of the machine like that, but that's how we learn, not necessarily the legs crossed, but definitely with the machine way up high like that. And so that was the way we were sitting. Actually, this lady's posture isn't too bad, but I just don't think that that's way up high like that is really good. I don't, there are some people who still write like that, but not a lot. And then we've got your side saddle people. So legs either crossed or uncrossed, but to the side of the machine. I used to write like that too. And it was actually pretty comfortable because you can rest your arm on your leg. But I don't need to anymore because the way that I write now is, you know, I can rest both my hands on my legs if I want to. So definitely as the years have gone by, it's gotten more lowered. Like even these people, for me, that's a little bit too high, but it's better than what I learned in school. We're going to look at these pictures again after we do the whole posture thing and everything. And so we're going to kind of analyze it. All right, so here is two speed contest winners, Mark Kislingbury on the left and John Wissenbach on the right. You'll see John Wissenbach has that high machine writing thing. And it could be because that's the way he learned in school like I did. I think he's younger than I am, but you know, back in them our days, old-fashioned days, perhaps that's how he learned. Mark Kislingbury definitely writes lower. And then you got your tilters, right? So I am a tilter. I don't do it as much as the middle guy. I'm a little closer to maybe the Chase, who's on the right. That's Chase Frazier. The lady on the left, maybe not even as much as that, but I definitely do tilt like that. But we're going to talk about their posture in a minute. And then this is Rich Hermosen. He's also a speed contest, you know, first, second, or third place winner. He's a big tilter. So we'll talk about him in a minute. Any comments or questions about any of what you've seen so far?
Laura?
Yes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I've seen Chase writing, and it's called Report It, and it's just like little rest pads that you can put on your legs, and you can rest your arms on that. And he likes using those as well.
Yeah, I had some of those before, but I'll show you later on the way I write. I don't need those. I can just rest right on my legs, and my shoulders and everything all right. But yeah, some people can do that if they don't, if they don't want to have their machine low enough, or some people don't have long enough arms to do it the way I do it. I think I have more like, I don't know, manly length arms or something, because I can totally do it. But we'll look at that Chase picture again and see if he has them right there.
I didn't see him in that picture.
Okay,
But
maybe he just didn't have them. That was probably some speed contest practice. Looks like he was at a convention. Okay, so I asked these people, Gokhale is a woman, Esther Gokhale is a woman who had a really, really bad back problem and was told she shouldn't ever have children. She might never even walk. She might have problems. And so she went and studied a whole bunch of cultures that did not have back problems at all. Cultures where 70-year-old men were having like their discs were spongy as a 35-year-old and stuff like that. So she took a lot of years, and then she developed this way of copying them. And a few years ago, I started doing this method, which you're going to see one little part, but she has a whole method of how you stand, sleep, sit, walk, etc. That copies these cultures that don't have back problems like we do. And so I was in a lot of pain for about 6 months, and then I started doing her method and it went away. I was thinking it was going to be a career ender because I couldn't get rid of it, and I was popping the Advils and so on. But after doing this and embracing it, it took a couple of months to kind of get the muscles used to it, because now I was using muscles I hadn't used before. My pain went away, this like hump I had on the back of my neck went away, and now I can sit on the edge of a chair for 2 or 3 hours before I have to take a break or take a rest. So I'm going to go ahead and play it unless there's any questions about anything before I do. It's about 10 minutes long or 12 minutes long. Okay, all right, here we go. You should be able to hear it because if you were hearing that other video I was playing, then you should be able to hear this one too. So here we go.
Hi, court reporters. My name is Monisha White, and I'm the daughter of Esther Gokhale, and I'm a qualified teacher of the Gokhale method. Today, I'm going to teach you a little bit about how to sit and do your court reporting work with good posture. So the first thing I want to address is having your shoulders in.
And I'm sorry, I meant to tell you, I sent her a machine so she could do this video, and she has it tilted the wrong way. So please ignore that it's tilted towards her. It should have been tilted away from her. But she didn't know because she's not a court reporter. So just kind of ignore that one.
A healthy position. You don't want your shoulders to be out forward, but you also don't want to be tensing to pull your shoulders back all the time. What I'm going to teach you is a very simple and yet surprisingly effective technique on how to reposition your shoulders so they remain back and yet relaxed. So one shoulder at a time, I want you to do this with me and move your shoulder a little forward and then a little up and then a lot back. And after you go far back, you're just going to relax and let it hang where it hangs. And you will likely be surprised that it falls a little bit further back than it's used to. And now you go to the other side and same thing, a little forward, a little up, and a lot back. Notice that it's my shoulder going in isolation of the rest of my body. So I'm not throwing my whole body back as I position my shoulder back. I'm just repositioning my shoulder, one shoulder at a time. Now, as you type, It's helpful to bring your tasks a little bit closer in so you're not as tempted for your shoulders to be really far out in front of you. But you also want to, when you are reaching, continue to reach with your shoulders back in place. You don't have to pull your shoulders forward in order to reach something in front of you. You can start just by rotating and moving forward with your arms. Every once in a while, it's good to reset, do another shoulder roll, and relax. There are a lot of benefits of having your shoulders in this position. One is healthy circulation. All of your veins and arteries go to and from your arms into your hands through here. And if you have your shoulders forward, you're compromising a lot of circulation. People who do typing and things with their hands have a predisposition for things like carpal tunnel syndrome and tendinitis, and you would like to have as much blood flow to and from your hands as possible. Okay, so I am going to move on to the next very important piece of your job as a court reporter, which is sitting. So when sitting, you want to start by positioning your foundation, which is your pelvis, well. And one of the things that helps your pelvis situate well is having the back of you lifted a little bit taller than the front of you. So if you're lucky and your seat angles or slopes downwards, then that's very helpful. So this seat has a downward slope in the front half. Unfortunately, in our culture, many seats tip up or are horizontal. In this case, it's helpful to put something there to help you get a little bit of a downward slope or downward angle. So one thing you can do is, and you can do this on any chair, I know it's one thing to bring, but it doesn't have to be a huge thing, is you can fold a towel or a flannel or a blanket of some sort and position it so it meets you partway in the seat. So you don't want to just create a taller seat, you want to have it hit you midway through the seat. And now, on your wedge or on your downward sloping seat, you are going to squat your way into your sitting. So the way you go into your sit is important. You don't want to sit on your imaginary tail. You would like to sit with your tail out behind you. You can imagine you're squatting like an athletic squat, and you want to find your chair, set your behind out behind you, and now you come to upright. Now, an important test for whether you've succeeded in getting a pretty good foundation is you have to totally relax. And when you relax, you see what happens. If you've done a good job positioning your pelvis, then you will probably be surprised that you actually remain upright without having to tense yourself to hold yourself there. If you've sat on your tail or close to it, then when you relax, you'll end up slumped. And that means you have to reposition yourself, not by tensing to hold yourself up, but by reseating yourself with your behind out behind you. So now we'll put our pieces together. Sit yourself down, and one more time we'll go through together. Squatting yourself into your sit, sitting on the front edge of your slope. You can also do this by perching on the very front edge of your chair. And relax. And if you remain upright, now you can go to the next step, which is reaching for, doing a shoulder roll one at a time. So you do one shoulder roll and then the other shoulder roll, and now you maintaining your shoulders back and in place, or you stroke. I know that stroking is the terminology for what court reporters do, so stroking. It helps to bring your device a little bit closer into you so you're not as tempted to reach forward. But sometimes if you're higher up or if you do need to reach for something, you need to go a little bit further. And you can do this, but you want to do so by keeping your entire upper body moving as one piece. So the place that you would like to bend forward from is at your hips. We call this hip hinging. And we're going to do a little mini version of what we teach in standing. And we're just going to rotate our pelvis forward, and the rest of the body wants to stay as one unit. So you don't want to go ahead with your shoulders. You don't want to go ahead with your neck. You would like your shoulders to be rolled back and your neck to be tall. And now you hinge forward slightly and you can reach whatever it is that you were trying to reach. Part of your care for your work as a court reporter happens outside of the time that you're actually on the job. You can use the time you spend driving to your work and the time driving on the way back from your work to prep for the job and to reset from any extra damage or stress or tension that has built up during your day of work. So I'm going to teach you now a technique that we call stretch sitting, which is a way of putting your back in traction while you sit and using your sitting time to lengthen the muscles, allow your muscles to relax and reset, and create space for your discs that are located in between each pair of vertebrae. Oftentimes in our culture, people have some amount of compression in their spines, and so the discs in between the vertebrae have developed are either bulging or have some amount of degeneration or wear and tear, and it is really a nice opportunity to use your sitting time to let the discs rehydrate and heal and create space. So the first thing is that you need something on your chair that will give you traction. So this chair has these sticky nubs built in, and that creates traction that you can attach to. You can also attach a stretch sit cushion to any chair. In your car, it loops over the headrest. At work chairs, you can loop it around the legs and attach it. And this creates some traction that you can attach to. You also have the option of using something like a towel that you fold up a couple of times, so it has some thickness. And the traction on the towel will also serve you to allow you to attach to it. So you can put it across your chair like this and then hook onto it. So now I'm going to go through the technique. And the first step after you've set your chair up with something that you can attach to is to place your bottom back in the chair. So you want your bottom to be out behind you. Next, you want to hinge away from the backrest slightly, just for clearance. And the third step is to rotate your rib cage forward. Now, this often feels odd to people because many people have been trained to do the opposite in the name of good posture. But when you stick your chest out, what you end up doing is shortening and arching your low back, which is an area that we would actually really like to lengthen and flatten. So we need to undo this and rotate the rib cage forward to stretch and flatten the low back. And now you're going to grab the chair, either the backrest or the seat, to push yourself tall. So you're going to lengthen your upper body away from the lower body without losing this shape in your rib cage. So you don't want to stick your chest back out. You want to keep your rib cage rotated forward and then lengthen the back of you tall. And now you're going to hinge back against the backrest. And once you hit the nubs, you're just going to relax. And some of your weight should get a little hooked onto the backrest, so you're being lifted a little bit tall. One at a time, we're now going to address our shoulders and go a little bit forward, a little up, and then a lot back. And relax down. Other side, a little forward, a little up, a lot back, relax down. When you have your shoulders open, there's room in the chest for your breath to expand. So try taking some deep breaths. This is a really good thing for healing yourself as well, because circulation is really important for your well-being and health. And if your shoulders are back and your chest is open, then there's more room for your breath to expand. You can get greater lung capacity, greater circulation. One last little piece is you can bring your neck a little tall. You can grab the back of your neck and gently lengthen, or grab some of your hair and lift a little bit tall. Your neck would also like to have a little bit of length, so that's a nice way to reset your neck. Okay. One way that would be very helpful for you to learn more is we have a book called 8 Steps to a Pain-Free Back that guides you through posture in sitting, standing, walking, bending, lying. We also have 1-hour introductory workshops that are free and offered online, so it's very easy for anybody to go and sign up. You can learn more in that way, and you can also look us up on our website, goklemethod.com, GOKHALE method.com, to learn more.
Okay, so this is what I started doing. I started using that stretch sit thing. I do the rolls all the time. I rotate my my rib cage, and Dana, this would totally help you because for that laptop mouse issue. So, for example, you would when you're working on your computer and using your mouse, instead of leaning forward, what you're going to do is, instead of leaning forward and losing the posture, you're going to do those shoulder rolls, and when you want to get your mouse, you're going to hip hinge, and that's what totally helps you not have that pain. And you're going to feel a stretch in the back up here in the top of the back, and a lot of people, even I, had some pain in my upper back because I wasn't using those muscles. I was just like this really rounded thing with a big hump on my neck. And now, and you can get your neck, I probably can't ever get my neck all the way back, but some of you can if you're younger. And so then I would sit with my machine, and I always bring my machine, so you can see how it's tilted, not as much as the other people, but I have my machine right here, and this is how I write. So I can rest my wrists on my legs, or not if I don't want to. Sometimes I don't want to. But sometimes I rest them, and sometimes I don't, but they're right here. And so that's why I personally don't need those things that Chase uses or other people use too. Because I have my machine right here, and I bring it right here in front of me. So now you kind of get like these, want to think about dinosaur arms. So you do the roll and everything, and you hip hinge, so you don't have to lose it by doing that. Or if you do reach out, you want to keep the shoulders. Any questions about that before we look at the pictures again and analyze them? Questions? No questions? Okay, well, if you think of any questions after, you can ask me later. So Felicia, also, if you do this posture thing, it will definitely help you with your wrists too. As she was saying, everything comes from the neck. Every circulation, the pinched nerves most of the time comes from the neck. And so you don't really need wrist. I never have had any wrist problems ever. I just had neck problems and stuff too, but I've never gotten wrist problems. I've always had my machine right here, and I just write. And if you have wrist problems, you might have your wrist tipped like this, or even like this. I had someone who was writing on her machine like this. She was on her way to trouble. As long as they're flat, and you've got this whole area clear, then you will be able to, not have get wrist problems. So I can maybe I can make the video. Yeah, you'll be able to watch the video because it will be in the CareerLuv.Thinkific place where I upload all of these meetings we have. Oh, okay, I'll stop sharing. Okay, so, sorry, I meant to stop sharing. All right, so like she was saying, you're gonna go like this, and I have, so she, if I ever forget this cushion, I take a cushion like this with me. It's a wedge cushion. But if I do, I just roll up my jacket or my sweater and put it like she said. So you squat, sit back, do the shoulder roll, and then I'm good to go. The only thing I bring as a special chair is a wedge cushion. Now, if, for example, I got the wedge cushion on Amazon, and I have a video that shows all of my gadgets, and I put the link there. So if you look in my YouTube videos, you should be able to find it, or you can email me and I'll email it to you. And then I just write. So I think if you have your hands pretty straight, you don't get, and your neck is clear and everything can flow as it's supposed to, you don't get wrist problems. Now, if the times when I've forgotten my wedge cushion and I don't have a jacket, what I do is I sit on the edge of the chair and then I drop one leg down, and it gives me the same kind of lowering, not both legs, but it gives me the same sensation. And then I'll switch which leg I drop down. So that's, and I can sit like this for 2 or 3 hours without needing to lean back or rest or anything. I can sit here like that for hours writing on my machine. And when I started doing this technique, yes, I will get tired at the end of the day, but I'm not fatigued. I used to be so fatigued and exhausted, and now I'm just a little bit tired, and it's mostly mind tired, not so much body tired after, writing on, because sometimes we're on the record 7 hours or 8 hours. And that means we're there for 10 hours or 8, 9, 10 hours, whatever. So I don't get exhausted by the end. So the question is, how do we know the machine is the right height? It's a different height for your own self, and it's a different tilt. Like I have mine tilted. I don't know if you can tell, but it's not a lot like those other people, like Rich and everything. But it's tilted so that my wrists are straight. And so I, as I said, I started out with my machine way up here when I was in school. This is how I was writing. And as the years went by, I was just adjusting it to myself, and writing. So the question is, should we not lean back in our chair then for our back to rest? Well, that all depends. If you can sit like that stretch sitting that she was doing, if you can sit in the back and hook your back over something and bring your machine all the way in like this. So see I've still got the posture still good here, and I'm sitting back in the chair. I have actually a cushion because the chair is too deep. So I use this cushion at home. At work sometimes if I want to sit back, like if it's that 8th hour that I'm on the record and I just kind of want to lean back and rest, and I might put my purse or my bag there or something just to give me a little support. But in the beginning of the day, I don't have to lean back at all. But if you do have a chair that you can lean back to, as long as that means you're not losing the posture by reaching out for your machine. Does that make sense? But the thing is, you don't need to, at least you shouldn't even need to lean back. And the way I knew this was working, this system, the way I knew it was working is I went to a graduation where we were sitting on bleachers, and I did my, I did my sitting and my this and my that, and I sat there and for 2 hours just like this, watching the graduation. Everybody else around me was fidgeting and uncomfortable, and I said, wow, that method really works because I'm been sitting here for 2 hours and not really having to move or anything. So Felicia says she always has to have the back support with her always, but that's probably because you're sitting like this and you're not having the right circulation, not the right posture. So if you do this posture method where you sit down like this, you rotate the ribs, do the shoulder roll, and do like that, then you won't need to have that cushion with you. after a while, because you won't have that big sway in your back that we get when we try to, you know, however we sit, as our culture has us sitting. Okay, so let's check in on these pictures we were looking at. So let me share again. So Dana, the comments you mentioned, the shoulders, but it's different. People tell us to do this shoulder roll, and then we get this sway in our back. This sway is a little bit forward, a little bit up, way back. It's very different than what you've probably been told by physical therapists and chiropractors and stuff. So it's really good to try it this way. This is what really, really, really works. Okay, so let's take a gander at these pictures now that we looked at in the beginning. All right, so this lady actually looks pretty good. She's got her shoulders back. She's got the dinosaur arms. These side saddle people, you can tell their shoulders, both of them are rounded, right? These two actually look pretty good. The machines are coming down lower now. They've got their, you know, elbows bent. Their arms aren't straight out. These guys, again, they both have their, you know, elbows bent, but their shoulders are really in a bad position, right? And their necks are out in front. Now, you have to do this, to get the best benefit from this, you need to do the technique all the time, not just when you're writing. So when you're sitting in your car, when you're watching TV, I just automatically go there now with my body, and I always have this shoulder roll thing going on. That's where my body goes naturally now. But it takes a bit of time of just resetting yourself over and over throughout the day. This lady on the left actually looks pretty good. She's doing a little bit of hip hinging, right? This guy too, he probably could bring his machine a little closer. Chase is slumping there, but that's probably just because he's just kind of practicing and relaxing, and he doesn't have any problems yet. I don't know how he writes in a real situation, but if you were to keep writing like this for a lot of years, you would probably start getting some neck and you know, arm trouble.
Actually, Laura, looking at that picture, I think he does have the wrist supports.
Okay.
If you look under, because it's black, so it's hard to see, but if you look under his right arm, you can see that there's something his arm's resting on.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They're both there. Yep, they're kind of up higher. They're kind of near his elbow. Yep, so he's got that. Yeah, so that's a good thing, actually. I don't need them because my arms are long, I guess. But yeah, definitely it helps you rest them. But if you were to pull his machine closer, he might not need them either. And maybe he's not comfortable pulling it closer. Not everybody likes that. I didn't start out that way. As I said, I started out with my machine really, really high. And I just worked myself over the years down to the way I do it now. And he looks pretty good too, except he's kind of slouching too. So, but arms low, machine low, elbows bent, that's good. I'd have to see him more from the side to see how much he's kind of lost that shoulder roll thing, but he doesn't look like his neck is way in front of his spine, which is good. So, all right, well, that's the thing I had on posture. Again, I will upload this to the section that says 1,000 reporters. It'll be the May meeting, and so you'll have access to watching it again over and over, okay? And now I wanted to just kind of talk a little bit about my Zen test zone thing I'm putting together. But before that, is there any other questions or comments anybody wants to make? So all of this stuff every month gets uploaded to CareerLuv.thinkific.com. It's my course platform. That's where you find all the Eclipse trainings and all of this stuff that I record and I do here. Our monthly meetings are up there too. and I'll show you in a minute. I have it set up to show you. So Stenograph does sell the tilt thing for the Lumen X, yes. Okay, any more questions about that? I highly recommend that posture thing, taking whatever classes they have that you can do, even just the free ones. My stand does not get in the way of my feet because right now I have my machine, I can tilt it just on the top. I don't have to tilt it from the tripod legs. But before that, I had a tripod that had the tilt in two legs, and so I just had one leg under my chair. So it just depends on what kind of tripod. I have an Expression, and it doesn't, the tripod had two, how can I explain it? Let me just share my video again, I guess. Okay, so I think what Rebecca's talking about is it used to be we would have the tilting tripod would have one leg that would tilt, and you would have to put that in the back, and so you ended up with these two legs that had to go under your chair, right? But
yep, that's it, exactly.
Right. So you need to get a tripod. Like for example, my Expression, the ProCat people have one that have two tilters back here. And so these would tilt and this one leg would go under my chair. But even more than that, now I have one that just tilts from up here. So I can put it between, you know, under my chair, and it doesn't hit the wheels. So because I can tilt it like this now. So you can get one of those that tilts from the top here. No, I don't have a Lumen X. I don't have any Stenograph products. Or you can get a tilting tripod. Now, if you notice in that video, the tripod that she had, it had like an attachment here. So before I had these tilting tripods, my husband attached something for me here so it would tilt, and I could stick this under my chair. Okay, so this is an Expression. I have two Expressions that I use. So this tripod is actually a Stenograph. I guess I do have a Stenograph product. I have this tripod, but it's adapted for the Expression. And then the other tripod I had that had the two legs, was from ProCat. That's my one and only Stenograph thing. Otherwise, I'm Stenograph less. Yay. Okay. So yeah, look into getting whatever machine you have, talk to the manufacturers and see what kind of tilting tripod you can get that doesn't put the two legs of the tripod right under your seat. But even when I had one that did like that, I would maneuver it. I would put the wheels of the chair in such a way that I could maneuver the two legs in so I could get it close enough. So I made do with what I had at the time. Okay. If you have any more questions about that, just post them somewhere or send me an email, and I will definitely help you get a proper tilting tripod. Okay, any other questions about any of that? All right. Okay, so I came up with this idea to see if it would help you all, anybody who has problems with test anxiety. I was thinking I'm doing this Zen test zone, and what it's going to be is, and I did one little test run of it, but it's going to be where you practice taking tests, use some techniques to combat the test anxiety, live tests and tests on your own. So the first phase of it is going to be where I do just live dictations. I just, like, maybe once a week, I'll be available for an hour. You pop onto the Zoom, we do a little technique, and then you take the test and you send it in to me. I think you'll have, depending on how long the test is, if it's 1 minute, you'll have 15 minutes and so on. and in hopes that this will be good practice for people to get over testing problems. So that's my idea. I haven't really started it yet, but I also want to set up where I can just say, take test 72, you know, whatever, and then send it in so that you can do tests every day on your own. So in that vein, I would love to know if you send me, you know, what's your biggest obstacle, what would you like, and what would be helpful to you to make this program work. Right now, I'm just going to start setting up days where I do some live testing. And that's how it's going to start. And you'll have to pop on, I'll watch you write, which nobody likes either, which is good, so we can get over that. But just let me know what you would like for something like this, and then we'll start doing it, and it'll be refined, and we'll make it better, hopefully. I think we will, because it seems like when I get input, it makes everything better. And then I would love to hear from you about how this group has helped you, like you were telling me in the beginning, and what more you would like to see. Now I have all of these places you can go, my student user group, the Thinkific platform, you can email me, and that's my website. So I just was going to show you all of those places. So hold on one second, and I'm going to put them up on the shared screen. All right, so can you see now my browser? Okay, so this is my student user group. I have videos, I have files that I upload, and support and stuff, and I make announcements here. Sometimes I'll be working and I just paste something that I'm working on, like maybe some steno, or like these are the reminder of the briefs I forgot to use, and Eclipse was telling me reminding me which ones I was using, which ones that I could have used that I didn't use. Okay, and then I have this YouTube channel where I try to do weekly videos, but I don't always make it. I have interviews, tips, and stuff for you guys. And here's my just regular website where you can get, look at some of my courses, some of my paid courses, get this phrases ebook if you want it. And then I have my CareerLuv.Thinkific. So this is where you're going to find the Eclipse trainings. This Magic Steno Mindset is a bunch of dictations that I add to it. I try to keep adding to it. I'm trying to put things that you might not get in school, like, for example, maybe I'm trying to put a lot of for voice in there. I'm putting extra things like accents and stuff like that that you might not get in school. That would be fun for you. And then this is where you're going to find this recording in the 1000 Reporters Captioner student group. So if you go to here, then you would, you're going to see, sorry, it's loading. I've been a reporter for 36 years now, or July it will be 36 years. I was like, who's talking to me? All right. So here is the meetings from this year, from 2020, so January, March. So I didn't put up April yet. So April and May will be put up here, so you can have access to all of these. So today's will have that Gokli training that you saw that I shared with you. Here's the September. There's different ones here that you can look through. You can look through any of this if you want. And then, here's some trainings I've done. Where are they? Just regular trainings like punctuation and stuff. This is a course that's kind of fun. It's also free to you, called You Are the Reporter. So we go through a civil trial, from pretrial motions all the way to the verdict and the appeal, transcript for appeal. This particular, what I'm showing you is from CareerLuv.Thinkific.com. Okay, so CareerLuv.Thinkific.com. These are all my courses that I have, paid and free, pay ones and free ones. So you can go here and just jump in all the free stuff. And here's my Steno Magic Mindset. So I've got all the dictation classes that I'm doing live, I'm uploading them here. Then I have extra stuff for you. I have some theory speed for theory people. I have some miscellaneous stuff for you that I've dictated, like states in one stroke. What else have I put in here? Oh, my number, some finger drills, some accent stuff. These are all the I started calling them quarantine dictations, but all the dictations I started doing endurance. The endurance classes, I just have dictation for a whole 45 minutes to an hour. Last time I did 2 hours. And so you can have access to that. And there's literary, multi-voice. I'm really trying, sometimes it's only 3 voice, but I'm trying to do a lot more 4 voice for you. So that's what you have. This is on the CareerLuv.thinkific.com place. That's where you're going to find all of this, plus the monthly meetings that we have, like we're doing today. Okay. Any questions about any of that?
Laura?
Yes.
Okay. How often are you, or when is the next sign up for a new group for the 1,000 reporters?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't quite understand you. Can you say that again?
Yes. When is the next sign up for the next round of 1,000 reporters?
Well, this is going on for a whole year. So anybody who wants to join in can just, they have to, you know, sign up through the form that I send out. And then, so it's going on. I'm doing a whole year one now. Last year I did it every 3 months, but now it's just from January to the end of December, or to December.
So they can just sign in at any time throughout the year?
Yeah, they can join it. Mm-hmm. So I would send, there's a landing page that you click on it, a link, and then you fill out, you know, the name and all that stuff, and then you're on the list. So if you know of anybody, just ask me for the link, and I can send it to you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, you're welcome. Rebecca, you clicked on your hand up. Is your hand up? Or just clicked on it for fun?
No, that was an accidental, sorry.
Okay, it's okay. I just want to make sure we didn't miss what you wanted to say. Well, you're all very welcome. My goal is to get you done. That's my goal. So let me know what I can do, you know, what else you might need. If you have any ideas for any, you know, themes for these meetings, every meeting's been a little bit different. This one was about posture, so that's always a good one. Some of them are about mindset and so on. So just if you have any ideas, send them to me. I might make a whole meeting about it. Any other questions or anything before we go? And first of all, I want to say, just before we sign off, I really appreciate that you guys take time out of your Sunday night. Some of you are back east to spend this time here live. The question is, when are the Zen test days? I don't know yet, so I'll have to send out, I put a announcement on the Facebook page or send out an email too. So you will be notified. I'm thinking Fridays, but I'm not sure yet. But definitely there will be some live stuff involved, because that's, you know, what you're gonna get in a lot of testing situations. So, all right, so go do that Gokley stuff. It really, really helps. And let me know if you have any questions. If you want that wedge cushion I got, I'll send you the link if you can't find it on the YouTube. I think it's, well, let me just see if I can find it. I think it was like, what did I name that one? It was something about stuff I use. Of course, can't find it now because I want it. I feel like taking machines. Well, it's in here somewhere, but I can find it easily. So just send me a message and I will post it. Okay, you're welcome. And okay, good. So Christina's charity tilts. Great. Okay. So look for that. I'll upload this meeting and last month's meeting too pretty soon in a couple of days. So you can watch that video again. And otherwise, I will see you all next month, if not before. Bye-bye. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming.